What's going on, everybody? Max and Rowdy here, Dallas Vintage Toys. Xavier's hanging out here with that zapper gun, and we're looking at this awesome collection of video games that we got in this last week. Max, what are we looking at here?
Oh my gosh, we have everything from, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 NES consoles over here. We've got an array of games. All of these have been tested by Rowdy himself. We got working copies. Look at this right over here, guys. We even have an incredibly rare copy of Donkey Kong Jr. Math, back when Nintendo was doing some educational items. Super cool. Rowdy, tell us about our NES consoles.
We're looking over here at the NES Action Set. This came straight out of 1987. You'd get yourself a console, 2 controllers, a zapper, and a video game, which is perfect if you had an older brother or a little sister or something. So you go straight out the package into a 2-player game. Plus, Duck Hunt was always fun to shoot at the screen. It never was accurate, but it was always a good time. Or if you had a little bit of money back in the day, you'd have something cool like this NES tower here to hold your video games, your magazines, your issues of Nintendo Power, or like we're doing here, showing off some of the fun stuff that we got in the collection, like a joystick controller that, oh no! And then we have the original Game Boy here with a couple of different Super Nintendo games and a selection of video games that I gotta say is pretty awesome here. All 3 Super Marios. We've got a copy of Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game. Batman, if you just want to throw that one in there. We have Donkey Kong Classics, Tetris, Kid Icarus, Excite Bike. But some of the things that I really enjoyed about this was the dust cover that you never see anymore, and an awesome Nintendo, the Nintendo Power sticker cover to go on top of your controller. These were things you could only get if you were subscribed to Nintendo Power. But over here, we were looking at a collection of NES games. Did you play a lot of NES stuff as a kid, Max? Because I know I did.
A ton. I also was a big fan of the SNES. We've got an array of stuff. Mario Paint was one that was fun to doodle around with all the time. I can't tell you how many hours I've logged into Super Mario World. And you can never go wrong with a copy of Mario Kart. And my personal preference is that the older ones are the best. So definitely come on in, take a look at those. We've also got pocket editions of the Game Boy Color. I had one of those on me at all times.
Yep. Then over here, if you're looking at some of the NES games, I have Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, which was a great game if you just wanted to get your boxing on. Also, little trivia question, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out was a fun game that they licensed to the NES, but after a few years, the license for Mike Tyson actually lapsed, so they had to put out a copy of just regular Punch-Out. So instead of you fighting Mike Tyson at the end, you had to fight a character called Mr. Dream. He didn't look anything like Mike. But we also have some other fun games from some movie properties like Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh my gosh.
I don't even think I played that one as a kid, but I'm looking forward to testing that out later.
So cool.
This copy of Gunsmoke right here, which was like an early prerequisite to Sunset Riders. You walk around as a cowboy blasting everything that moves, collecting loot, and taking down those horrible villains. Speaking of taking down villains, you've got RoboCop from the 90s right here. Did you play RoboCop as a kid?
Oh man, I did. I love those movies too. So good.
Oh yeah, and RoboCop was filmed here in Dallas. So if you're looking for that,
really,
yeah, absolutely,
that's so cool.
They filmed a lot of it down in Dallas, and the next one on the list is Contra. What I loved about this is you kind of look like Arnold and Sylvester Stallone are fighting the aliens, which is a great graphic on the cover, but when you're playing the game, they look nothing like those characters. But it's still a fun game to check out. Superman, they haven't made a good one yet, so I'm just going to tell you this is a long list of terrible Superman video games, Superman 64 being the worst of the bunch. But along with our comic books theme, look at that.
Oh my gosh. Silver Surfer had a game?
Silver Surfer had a game. It's very side-scrolling, shoot-'em-up kind of thing. So you're on the surfboard, you're blasting villains as they come onto camera at you, and if you get hit once, you're dead. You have to start the whole level all over again.
Hell.
Exactly.
I love those.
Another one that was like that was Castlevania. Did you play Castlevania, Max?
A classic, yes. I still play the newer copies today, but nothing beats the original, I tell you.
Simon Belmont is taking on Dracula in an adventure that you can have on your NES. Again, tons of fun stuff here at the store. I'll just run through a couple other ones like G.I. Joe. So you got to have your G.I. Joe for your Saturday morning cartoon video game collection, or Captain America and the Avengers. So you can play as Captain America or some of the other Avengers to go through a bunch of levels fighting robots, bad guys, ninjas, a ton of fun stuff as a kid. Always kept me busy. Or if you're trying to venture around here,
gosh.
Max, tell them about The Legend of Zelda.
The Legend of Zelda. So the original top-down Legend of Zelda was incredibly difficult, but so many hours of fun. I would play that until it got wee hours of the night, and then I was tired at school in the morning. So.
The time would go by real quickly, and next thing you know, it's 6 in the morning, and you're like, I got to be at school in 2 hours.
Oh man, the good days.
But then you'd also have to take the Game Boy Pockets with you so you could play Tetris during your lunch break, or set you up with a game genie here so you can take those games and to the next level, do some cheat codes, some stuff that you're not supposed to do. But guys, what I'm really trying to get at here is Dallas Vintage Toys has got tons of vintage games as well as vintage toys. So if you're looking to start a vintage video game collection, or you have some of this stuff lying around your house and it's not doing you any good, come on into DVD today. We can turn those into checks, or we can turn them into more toys or more video games. However you want to do it, there's plenty of options for you. You can always see stuff like this in store or at DallasVintageToys.com, where I've got thousands of vintage items at your fingertips that we can ship worldwide. So come on into DVT today. Come say hi to me and Max.
Hey.
And let's talk video games. Until then, guys, this is us here at the store. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Get them while they last.